PayNG, we pay, you pay. When it comes to funding education for students in Nigeria, Press PayNG is your go-to. I want to say a very big thank you to 3J's Hotel and Restaurant here in the Federal Capital for weighing in and giving us all the support we need to ensure that this is a success, and also Call to Fly to ensure that Travels and Tour Company here in the Federal Capital to ensure that when our students, our debaters are ready, they can fly them to Lagos for the national debate. So, I appreciate all of our partners and our sponsors for their Beg to Differ debate.
Well, like you
and
said,
our judges?
Yeah, judges, Majid Dahiru, of course, he's still an impartial judge, and we also have
always will be.
Yes, always will be. And Irene Bangwell is also very much around. You do not see them in the camera, but they are well seated in their own, corner and listening attentively, and also doing justice to the debaters at the end of the day through the results which will be brought in here. Like you were saying, Kimberly, I mean, it's been 3 days of very exciting moments, very tense, but also very exciting. Listening to the perspective and views of children, of that age, it tells you that, look, we have very brilliant ones spread across different schools. I hope it gets better with each passing day, because that's how it ought to be today.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
Okay. So
I'm confident that our debaters would notch things up further today. And just to remind you what it entails, that there will be 3 rounds to this: the presentation, the rebuttal, and the closing. And each of this round would allocate 3 minutes each to the debaters for all of them. And I'm sure you both know what the rebuttal is, right? Yesterday we had one of our debater who wasn't either she wasn't paying attention, she wasn't sure what to do at that point in time. Just to put that out of the way. You be judged based on your number, quality, originality of the point that you make, clarity of thought, eloquence of presentation. Let's go on a quick break.
To take your taste buds on an adventure with Eat Right.
let's talk about something.
Nigeria Info Abuja edition of
I Beg to Differ.
I Beg to Differ.
I Beg to Differ student debate is back on. It's opened. And
16 active, intelligent, brilliant debaters for the I Beg to Differ debates.
Back on track right now.
And you can be a part of it if you are a secondary school student. You are aged
13 to 16.
You can compete for a grand prize of
1 million naira.
So registration is open right now.
If you go to our site, you see the debate questions. You give 4 and against in terms of your argument.
Once you do that, you'll be required to upload a 4 minutes audio recording of yourself, 2 minutes arguing in favor, and 2 minutes arguing against.
Don't forget that there will be amazing prizes that will come with the I Beg to Differ,
And the winner, aside from getting 1 million naira from here, will also participate in the national debate.
You have a chance to represent the FCT and be flown to Lagos to compete in the grand finale.
It's going to happen live in the studio. We're going to be streaming live, Facebook, YouTube.
If you want to be a sponsor, a good time to call as well.
Get in touch with us.
Just call Mr. John. He's our head of marketing, and he'll be glad to give you any information, any update concerning what categories you can sponsor.
An opportunity for you to sell yourself, to sell your company, to sell whatever products.
Number is 0803 700 3120. That's 0803 700 3120.
Cash in or capitalize on this opportunity to sponsor I Beg to Differ on Nigeria Info 95.1. I'll be glad to hear from you.
Let's get back to your reactions right now, shall we?
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
All right, the very first edition of I Beg to Differ here in the Federal Capital, powered by PressPay NG, 3J's Restaurant and Hotel, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour Services. Welcome to the very first set of the debate for today. And the motion is, should public universities in Nigeria be tuition free? Now, who would support, who would beg to differ between the debaters we have in the studio? We've got Yemisi Makinde. Yemisi Makinde is 14-year-old and a student of Prime Care International School. Hello, Yemisi. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine and ready to go, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then. We also have 14-year-old Jeremy Ude, a student of Rebuttal School, Wuse to Abuja.
Jeremy is waving. Who exactly are you waving to? All right, we have the cameras, and I'm sure that your people are watching you, right?
He knows the parent, the student.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure he feels like this kind of guy who's got a lot of people in school.
Oh,
like,
yes.
guys, I'm going to be on that Beg to Differ debate. Watch me on YouTube.
Watch me.
Yes, it's at Nigeria Info Abuja on YouTube, at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook. So go check out Jeremy and Yemisi as they slug it out today on the motion, should public universities in Nigeria be tuition free? So we have
We have our papers
Yeah.
here, and basically, this would determine what side of the debate you be on. So you either choose to support or you will beg to differ, and this will be the determinant of that. So, Kimberly, we start from
all right.
Yemisi. And then open up and tell us what side of the divide you are on.
I support the motion.
Oh, nice.
All right. Yemisi
Okay.
supports the motion that public universities in Nigeria should be tuition free. Jeremy begs to differ. Okay. There we have it. On what side? Remember, the presentation would require you to give us your opening, and you'll be scored based on the clarity of your thought, eloquence of your presentation, the originality also of your point. And then we'll go to the next round, which is the rebuttal. You'll also be given 3 minutes each to take on your opponent's point. I'm sure you know that already. And you'll be scored based on your number of opponent points that you addressed, the strength of your rebuttal of each point, clarity of your thought and eloquence. And we'll give you 3 minutes each for your closing. If by some chance you were both on fire on the same frequency and come to a tie, then we get to the tiebreaker. We'll be giving 5 minutes each to give us other sides of your argument. Is that okay?
Claire? All right, so guys, like Kimberly told you, you have 3 minutes each for starters. And since Yemisi picked the part to support, that means you invariably start. And your start starts running now.
Good day, educators, my fellow debaters, my esteemed guests and audience. My name is Yemisi Makinde, and I strongly support the topic which says public universities in Nigeria should be tuition free. But first, I would like to quote, education is the most powerful tool one can use to change the world. In this time and era, one is valued by their intellectual capacity, and what's better than to have education privileged and free to every single one of our Nigerian youths. To begin, people who lack the sponsorship and are unable to afford tuition fees will be given the opportunity to go for their tertiary education. Making public university tuition free therefore gives an equal opportunity to both the rich and the poor, as it's a more convenient system to those who are financially incapable of sponsoring themselves in the universities. In addition, one of the major reasons in Nigeria poor people tend to indulge themselves in criminal activities is the number of policies that are very unfavorable to those who are financially incapable of adapting to the system of the country. With this, we can say that making public university tuition free can actually help in reducing crime rate in our nation. Furthermore, the rate of unemployment has made many individuals see no use in spending so much money to get a degree they might not end up using in future. Making public university tuition free therefore increases literacy, as it gives this certain individual a less reason to choose to be uneducated and allows them to pursue a more professional career. Lastly, today people have the understanding that other countries are able to offer Nigerian youths a higher chance of attaining academic success. Making public university tuition-free therefore corrects this understanding, as it provides quality education with no expenses added, allowing the certain individual to harness their knowledge back into making the society greater. With this, we can see that making public university tuition-free can actually promote patriotism and gives the certain individual a more sense of loyalty to their country. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. Yemisi Makinde took on all her points in barely 2 minutes plus some few seconds. Quite impressive.
All right. Presentation done for Yemisi Makinde, who supports the motion that public universities in Nigeria should be tuition-free. Over to you, Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy, you have 3 minutes to differ on the same topic that Yemisi supported. And your time starts running now.
The moderator, panel of judges of this one-of-a-kind debate competition, and the wonderful viewers at home, good afternoon. I feel really excited to be back on this second round if I beg to differ. I remain Jeremy Ude from Rebuttal Schools Wuse Abuja, and I shall be talking in opposition of the motion, which is a question. Should public universities in Nigeria be tuition-free? Now, tuition-free universities may look good at first, but it is clearly not a sustainable solution, especially given these current harsh economic realities and challenges facing the country. Now, my first point is overcrowding and strain on resources. With tuition-free universities, it would lead to overcrowding, which would lead to development of larger classrooms, limited access to resources, and worst of all, a declined quality of education. Secondly, it would lead to funding challenges. Public universities in Nigeria already struggle with funding challenges. Then enacting free tuition will make these challenges roughly worse. Now, public universities in Nigeria already struggle with poor infrastructure, limited access to facilities, and a low quality of education, which actually affects students' academic standards and performance. Thank you.
Okay. Jeremy took on his points in a minute plus some few seconds.
All right, then. Jeremy, back to differ on the motion that public universities in Nigeria should be tuition-free. I hope they were both convincing in their argument for and against this particular motion. We'll go on a break, and when we return, we'll get to your rebuttal, where you pick on the opponent's argument and try to kind of like tear it apart to a certain extent, with a superior argument though. And we'll be back in a bit with that. Don't forget, it's I Beg to Differ, the very first edition of the program, sponsored by Press Pay NG, supported by 3J's Restaurant and Hotel, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour Company here in the Federal Capital.
I Beg to Differ. Going back.
Abuja, get ready for I Beg to Differ debate.
I feel optimistic to lend my voice, especially at this challenging time when indiscipline in schools reigns supreme.
People, especially students, have used this opportunity as an excuse to become lazy.
The premium brand debate of young stars exclusively on Nigeria Info FM, Abuja.
Students are becoming over-reliant in AI tutoring systems.
The competition is here and they are ready for the showdown. The winner wins 1 million naira and participates in the grand finale with students from finalists around the country. Be part of the debate through sponsorship. Call John on 08037003120.
In conclusion, AI isn't all good or bad. It depends on how we use it.
And now we are back on I Beg to Differ.
We're back to continue with Yemisi Makinde, 14-year-old student of Prime Care International School, and Jeremy Ude, 14-year-old student of Rebuttal School, Wuse to here in the Federal Capital. It's I Beg to Differ debate, the very first edition for the Federal Capital. brought to you by Press Pay NG, We Pay You Pay, and 3J's Restaurant and Hotel, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour Company here in the Federal Capital. We also thank you so much for being a part of the debate. Those who tuned in on YouTube, who joined us on Facebook, we say big thank you. Leave your comment, leave your thought, leave your responses. I'll read as many of them as possible. Just so you know, our impartial panel of judges are Dr. Majid Dahiru, is a researcher, columnist and tech team lead of Luke's Terra Leadership Foundation, and Irene Bangwe, who is the co-founder of NOSC 100 Naira a Day School. She's a coach.
A girl-child coach.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for rejoining us as we go into the next phase or the next round, right?
Yeah, we see people like Ikeoluwa Olaito on YouTube. Let's go there. Good afternoon. Godwin Sani is also positioned to share his thought with us. We're also on Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. If you have any challenge with YouTube, run off to Facebook and let's get your thoughts and comments there also.
All right. So for the next phase, which is rebuttal, Yemisi and Jeremy have made their points in the presentation. It's time for, I think, who would go first?
The support, yeah.
All right. Yemisi. So, Yemisi, you go first. You have 3 minutes to go, and your time starts running now.
Still standing on existing protocols, I remain Yemisi Makinde. Okay, my opponents raised an issue of overcrowding. First of all, in universities, I believe tuition fees are not the only requirements for students. I mean, we have JAMB cutoff mark and WAEC scores. And there are many individuals who actually go to university for the social experiment instead of actually learning something. So making tuition free will actually increase these expectations for certain students. Actually, in like our JAM now, definitely the cutoff mark will increase, maybe from, I think now the cutoff mark is 190, to definitely increase from like 190 to maybe 220. So it will allow these certain universities to work with more intelligent minds. Okay, and then you said something about lack of resources. Actually, it has been proven that Nigeria actually has a lot of resources, but the problem is that we don't channel it positively. So if actually these resources are channeled positively, I believe that there will be more than enough funds to support this system. Okay, I think those are the only. I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for.
All right, now the rebuttal should pick 2 points out of what Jeremy presented, and we'll get over to Jeremy now to find what argument he wants to tear apart. Tear them to shreds, Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy, your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you, the moderator. My opponent made reference to how public universities, which are tuition free, will help boost social connections. But have you forgotten about the workforce of the nation? Without people working towards achieving greatness, the nation can't even develop itself correctly. Now, if you're to just focus on making friends, how do you actually be able to make money to boost the country's economy? Don't forget that this country is actually going down in the economy, as the naira to dollar increase is gradually becoming a very huge problem inside our society. Now, inside one of your points, inside the introduction, you made reference to how making public universities tuition free make people patriotic. But how does it actually make people patriotic? What's to say that if they were to actually have tuition fees, that will not make them patriotic? Please answer that. Thank you.
Done and dusted.
All right. Interesting that they used, some of them just to do this in seconds and less than 2 minutes and all of that. But brace yourself. If either of you scale through to the round of 8, one of you most definitely will, to build yourself for very intense arguments that will get to the point where our timekeeper will have to ring that bell to tell you enough of it already, particularly when you get to the national, because you would have people who are ready to just keep going until they are stopped, like the moving train.
Tearing you into shreds.
Yeah.
So you got to tear them back too, right? Okay. URCH
says, wow, the definition of saving the best for the last. Incredible kids, the complacency for me. That's what I'm talking about. Bring the fire on, guys. URCH joined us on YouTube. Abdulaziz Usman also says the kids are doing great. Stanley Uchenna, we see you. Please, what's the topic you're discussing? You just joined us. We're
I see
asking.
that. It's written there on
boldly
on that banner, right?
You know, I'm glad you pointed out. And like, dude, it's on the screen right in front of you. Should public universities in Nigeria be tuition free? Itodo Abadi Deacon is also with us on
He
YouTube.
just joined us.
All right then.
Well done, sir.
So, if you're just tuning in, it's our Back to Differ, the very first edition here in the Federal Capital. Back to Differ Nigeria Info, and it's powered by PressPay NG, 3J's Restaurant and Hotel, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour. Let's go on a break.
I beg to differ. Going back.
Connection established. This is Nigeria Info.
Right back to DIFA Nigeria Info Abuja First Edition, powered by PressPay NG, 3J's Restaurant and Hotel, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour Company here in the Federal Capital. And we have Yemisi and Jeremy in the studio. They're both 14 years old and debating on the motion, should public universities in Nigeria be tuition free? Yemisi says yes to the motion. Jeremy begs to differ. And so far, we've gone through their presentation, we've gone through their rebuttal, in which, when you plan something is going to last an hour and then time is moving pretty fast and they're just using 1 minute, you start to really wonder.
I'm telling you.
Let's hope the closing will see some of those other arguments you're saving for last.
Yes.
Perhaps that's the strategy, saving the best for last. So we'll go back to them for their closing argument.
All right, guys, for closing argument, you still have the same timeline. That is 3 minutes. So we'll start with you, Yemisi. Since you support the motion, it's time for you to close your argument. I hope you make an impression on the judges this time around. Your time starts now.
Okay, to address my opponent's question on the loyalty question, won't you actually feel more devoted to your country when it has actually offered you something that has helped in you being successful, like in the future? I mean, like, definitely this promotes a sense of loyalty as tuition free, universities being tuition free, especially as a person who does not have the needed finances to support. Okay, let me
take it easy. Calm down, take a breath in.
To address your issue of loyalty, I believe that for certain students who are not financially capable of gaining education, they will definitely feel the sense of loyalty when the country has actually helped them become the successful people they are in the future. And apart from all I've listed, making universities tuition free also provides a lot more benefits to people. And I believe that students who are actually productive will actually make use of this privilege when the government offers it to them. I mean, we should not just conclude that certain students will misuse this privilege we should give them the benefit of the doubt, as they need to have the privilege first before you just conclude that they will misuse it. Anyhow, so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, to totally end, I would just like to end with this statement saying we should give education, have development, take development, and make the world better. And as Luther Vandross says, the best thing in life are actually things that are free. Thank you.
You know what? I never thought for 1 second that someone was going to throw Luther Vandross.
Luther Vandross. I was wondering. I thought she wanted
Like
to say Luther Martin King.
in life are free. Now that I discover what you mean to me. The entire song is coming back to me at the moment.
Exactly.
Thanks to Yemisi Makinde. All right, Yemisi has closed her argument on the debate with her supporting the motion that public university in Nigeria should be tuition free. And it's time for us to hear the closing argument from Jeremy.
Okay, Jeremy. I hope you're ready for this very last stage. If you are, your time starts now.
Thank you once again, the moderators and my wonderful opponent. Now, you stated about patriotism and a bunch of very valid points, but what about the students we have today in our public universities? You can't tell me that you go to a public university, that you expect 100% of them to say that, oh, I love my country a lot. I am very much value my country. Now, in conclusion, tuition-free universities may seem good at first glance, but it is clearly not a sustainable solution, especially given this current harsh economic realities and challenges facing the country. Now, secondly, you don't necessarily need to go to university to succeed in life. I mean, look at the people that we have in our society. We have people like Steve Jobs. We used to have people like Michael Jackson. We have people like Jay-Z and so on and so forth. You don't need to go to university. It is not the only path that you need to succeed. And if you seriously want to go to university, our president, His Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, innovated a new system, which is student loans, where the students can go and collect money from banks to cover things like living expenses, books, and tuition fees. So they can even go to higher levels of education and experience the best of the best. Thank you.
All right.
All right, Jeremy Ude, 14-year-old from Rebuttal School, who said to Abuja, begs to differ, has given us his closing argument. And so, guess who is itching to be on the hot seat debating?
Who?
Sam forgot.
Oh, okay. He wants to go back.
He says the kids are amazing. They make me feel like going back to school. Kudos to Nigeria Info and all those who support this great initiative.
It's quite nostalgic watching these kids, reel out their points and very fiercely too at that. I mean, you guys have done really well by all standards. Our Undertaker should be coming in anytime from now. But we have lots and lots of people on our social media. Thank you so much for always making out time to join, to watch, and to throw some very kind comments for the kids out there. It's really, really appreciated. Kim, I'm sure we have WhatsApp messages too.
Oh yeah. All right. Mahmood Mohammed says the seat is not easy. I wish our kids the best of luck. Congratulations to Nigeria Info Radio, the first and only standing radio station of the year. Oh yeah, thank you very much. Emmanuel SN says all right. He seemed to have his peak as to who would emerge successful. Well, we'll let the judges decide. Any more messages?
I see Lydia Mary Jane TV said, or can you get education loan from Press Pay Nigeria to fund your education? That's a question she's asking.
Well, that's what Press Pay is about, really.
Yes.
To giving you the kind of support, financial support you need for your education. So you might want to check them out.
You just want to check them out.
To know how to go about it.
Okay.
I beg to differ indeed. I'm loving this. I'm Fola from Wuse to send that via WhatsApp. And I think we have more.
Tongs on Monday, Jibrin said, very interesting. I love it. Thank you. And then also we have Afolabi Joshua. He said the kids gave their best. They need to be more robust in their argument, not exhausting their allotted time. It's not good enough going forward. And the national finals, kudos to Nigeria Info. I beg to differ team.
All right. In debating, it's the judges that give point. What the debaters give is a reason. Very nice one there. Those kids are smart. Oliver from Lakeview Home Phase 1. Send that one in.
Arch is saying it's getting hotter in here. Kim and Swat, my phone is getting some smoke billowing from AEDC. Please, I need this AC on till the end.
Lucky you're not on Band A. You don't have to pay too much for that.
Exactly.
All right. The two kids are sound and have marshaled out their point very well. Well done, kids. Tony from Guarimpa. Send that one in. Any more on that
No, we
page?
don't have any more.
Any more on our Facebook page?
Not really.
All right. I've been following this debating program, and I must say I'm loving it as a veteran debater myself from my secondary school years for 5 years running. My observation so far, there's a need for to simplify, the anchors to simplify what a rebuttal is for the little souls. For example, countering, disapproving, refutation, disapproval, contradiction. The thing is, they were sent an invite with their topic and all, and it was explained there. So,
and normally when they come into the studio, we talk to them and ask them do they really understand all, listening to them? They understand what rebuttal
and
is.
And Harry, what makes you think they don't understand it? These people that are debating and giving you a brilliant point, you think rebuttal is where they're
I'm sure some of you, when you stay side by side with them, they will dust you. So
exactly.
Don't try that. Don't play.
Don't assume they don't know it because one person didn't listen. All right, dun.
They should be putting some sort of
special
airy music for this man when he walks into the studio. But the billionaire is here, and our results are ready.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Time for us to hear. You know how INEC will come and show you that the envelope is sealed from our Chief Judge Majid Dahiru and Arim Bangwell. The sealed, not so sealed envelope is here, where we get the verdict from the judges as to how Yemisi and Jeremy performed in arguing the motion, should public universities in Nigeria be tuition free? It's I Beg to Differ, the very first edition of it here in the Federal Capital, and it's day 4, powered by PressPay NG, 3J's Restaurants, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour. So, we'll start with Yemisi, who supported the motion that public universities in Nigeria should be tuition-free. Her presentation score aggregate, 6. Her rebuttal score aggregate, 6. In her closing, she came up with 3.5. Her style of presentation and all drew her a 10. In total, she has 25.5%. And her contender, who left her with a question to answer in her closing, Jeremy, in his presentation, he came up with a 6. His rebuttal was 3. His closing argument, 5. His style of presentation and all drew him 12. And in total, 26. Boy, this is a narrow one because it's 0.5 margin. 0.5
this
margin.
Is amazing.
Who knew the 0.5? You know what? In future,
I thought this was going to be a
I'll be taking into account when my account balance all those 0.222 kobo. It means a lot right now because it will determine if you get to the next round.
They tell you that once they remove that 10, it makes a whole lot of difference.
Now I get it, because thanks to a 0.5, Jeremy goes to the next round of the debate.
Congratulations to you, Jeremy Uday.
And let's hope that you would have more points in your argument, because you're going to be meeting head to head with people who are 36 pointers, 33 pointers, who come with solid arguments.
Yes.
So there's a lot of work to be done, Jeremy. And to Yemisi,
congratulations, Yemisi.
I bet you go home and reflect about a 0.5 and wonder.
That was a very, very close shave. You know that?
Indeed.
And you should be proud of yourself. You did so well.
We'll see you the second edition of the I Beg to Differ debate.
Okay, maybe.
What? Why maybe?
Come on, Ish.
It depends.
It depends. All right, then. All right. It depends on a lot of variables. I get it. And so we'll say congratulations to the debaters. Thank you very much for participating in the first edition of Nigeria Info Abuja I Beg to Differ debate. Jeremy Uday goes to the next round of 8. Jeremy is a student of Rebuttal School in Wusetu, Abuja. And Yemisi Makinde is a student of Prime Care International School. Did excellently well, and we look forward to the next set of debaters who will be coming in to slog it out. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Yemisi.
Thank you, Yemisi, for coming.
And thanks to Press Pay NG, 3J's Restaurant and Hotel, and Call to Fly Travels and Tour.
Abuja, get ready for I Beg to Differ debate.
I feel
This is Nigeria Info.